All right, I am just going to get started a few minutes early, and hopefully this won't start buffering like it did yesterday, and I won't have any issues with the live feed today. Yesterday, on my screen, you can't see it, but I have it blocked because there's a delay, there's a lag on what I can see on my encoder and what's on the screen, and I talked for an hour without realizing that none of you were on or that it wasn't working. So I was super passionate yesterday. I had this amazing thing and no one got to see it because it kept buffering. And then I tried to redo it, and it was still buffering. So anyway, I have it set on the same settings I've had them on before. I tried to mix it up yesterday, and clearly it didn't work. So I have to make sure I can see my screen today. That way I will know, obviously, if you guys end up disappearing. So if it starts buffering or some weird stuff starts happening, just let me know in the chat. And I will make sure I take care of that for you guys. No, if you were on yesterday, I'm not sure what was happening. I don't know if it was on my end or YouTube, but I closed all of my windows, all of my programs on my computer today. And so hopefully that this will allow it to not, can you guys hear me now with my mic? That will allow, no, I don't know what happened yesterday. I don't know what happened with, if it was YouTube or what. But anyway, I'll just wait a couple more minutes since it's 3:29. If you have any questions to ask in the live chat, feel free to do so, because typically I answer them at the end, but today I wanted to make sure that my feed was working, so I am signing on a little bit early. Yeah, sorry, don't be mad at your cable company. I don't think it was that. I'm not sure what happened. So I closed out of everything, and I went back to the original settings that I had it on, so hopefully today should be easy peasy. My husband is tutoring tonight, so you guys can have me for a while. I don't have to worry about him coming home in the middle of this, so that works out great. I have some stuff that I'll do a little mini haul. I haven't been buying a lot of stuff. My sales have been down this month, so typically when my sales are down, I'm not really one to double down and just keep buying a ton of stuff to list. So I have purchased a few things, but not a ton, and they are here next to me. So I think at the end of the video today, I'll go through and do like a mini live haul video, and you can see what I purchased this week. There's probably only 30 or 40 things here from 2 different places. And I also, of course, have my canned wine from Trader Joe's, so I can have that. If you have wine, let's do it, ladies and gents, because sometimes you just need wine. We've had a lot going on in our personal life, and yesterday I kind of unloaded. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe the universe thought maybe we shouldn't have her just rambling on about whatever she's talking about. Because it wasn't good. I mean, it was fine. I just think that I was a little bit too passionate over here. Yeah, if you have your energy drink or your wine, I also have a ginger ale. So I'm double fisting today my ginger ale and my wine. Okay, so the first thing, I'm just going to get it out of the way. I have a new lipstick on for those of you who message me after the fact and ask me. This is BELLA RINA, and it's a red apple lipstick. This is the color I am, and it's really, really a pretty, this might be one of my new go-to pink colors, but it's red apple lipstick. It's gluten-free, vegan, gluten-free, soy-free, cruelty-free, paraben-free, allergen-free. I've been wearing this stuff for a really long time. It's a great quality product. And my affiliate link for the lipstick is in the description for this video, and it'll be available after the fact. The second thing is a lot of you have messaged me or put comments under my videos asking, you know, what I use for cleaning shoes or my pictures or my backdrops or all of the above. And I just decided to create an entire toolkit. It's a huge long page on my website, Reseller Toolkit. It is also in the description of this video. So I will make sure that it is in there. So once this video is saved, or I don't know if you guys can see it now, but that's on there, and it is a live document. So I will be continually updating this document as I try new stuff, you know, rule out old things. I will make sure that I keep it updated. It has what I use it for, and why I use it. I also have on there some things that I know other people use that I don't particularly use, like backdrops and things like that. But I might be moving to a white backdrop once we get into our new place that we're renting, our bigger place. We'll see. I'm just so limited on space in my apartment now that I just don't have anywhere to put a backdrop. So if you are interested in any of that, it is there. Make sure you bookmark it or pin it or save it because like I said, it's going to be a live document. So as you grow your business, you can always use it as a resource and come back to it and say, okay, I am not ready for a dynamo thermal printer right now, but in 6 months you might be. And maybe that one is still a good one, or there's a new one on the market that's even better. So depending on, you know, what you want to do, just make sure you bookmark that, and I'll make sure to keep it updated. The third thing is I have a data webinar that I've done with my husband, who is the data guru. He's the chief data officer at a health system. And we did this free webinar, and we've learned so much from all of your feedback and things like that that we're now turning this into an entire course. So if you want to get it for free, the link up for that is also in my descriptions. And it's all about inventory, how I keep my inventory in Excel or in Google Sheets. You know, he has done a ton of formulas, a spreadsheet, all of that, and you will get that if you sign up through the link. So it's a private YouTube video. It's about 2 hours long, and we really go through a lot of stuff. So based on that, we're going to make a new course that's going to have like a beginner and an advanced track to it. And that way it'll help you moving into 2018 if you are just getting started, or you're trying something new, or you're trying to grow. So it's really going to hit all of those markers for you. Don't forget to like this video if you like it, and subscribe to my channel. I add content. I'm trying to add it a little bit more. It might get a little tricky since we're traveling and moving in the next 6 weeks, but I'm going to try to make sure, maybe set aside one day and film a few videos so that way you guys can have some content coming out every week and help you with your business and grow and, you know, all of those kind of things. So if you don't know about me and you're just tuning in, my name is Rebecca Black. I am the Bexa Boss Lady, and I also have a reselling business, Boss Lady Resale. I sell on Poshmark, Mercari, eBay, all of these different sites. And primarily I started out doing it as a hobby, and then I turned it into a side hustle, and it's kind of my side full-time business at this point. And that's what this video is about, is talking about my transition of, you know, what is a hobby into a side hustle, into a full-time, you know, full-time entrepreneur, balls to the wall experience. And through all of these things, I've learned so much, and I've messed up stuff, and I've failed at stuff, and I've succeeded at lots of different things. And so I just kind of wanted to share my journey with all of you. I have chronic illnesses. I've had a hysterectomy. I almost lost my kidney. I have hypothyroid problems. I have chronic migraines, and the list goes on and on. So for me, it's very hard to maintain a full-time job simply for the fact that typically I'm in general manager positions, or I'm helping run a business, and or I'm running my own operation, and it just becomes very hard when you need, you know, 3 or 4 days off a month because you're ill. And so I am what an invisible illness looks like. Looking at me here now, besides the fact that Mount Evans is growing on my chin, you would really not know that I wasn't healthy, but my insides are like of a 90-year-old woman, and I'm still trying to figure stuff out. I had a very expensive surgery in the spring, and I'm digging myself out of that hole right now financially with all of our medical bills and stuff like that. But a significant chunk of the money that I paid for my medical bills, I earned by reselling. And that's what I want to really teach you guys, is the difference between a hobby and a side hustle, so like a side hustle part-time, and then a full-blown entrepreneurial business, because they're very different. And there are pros and cons to all of them. I've done them all. They're just a little bit different. But let's just get started. So if you guys have questions, put them in the live chat. And here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go through, I have my little notes here on my notebook. I'm going to go through this kind of information and share some stories with you about my experiences doing these things. And then we can answer, I will answer your questions in the live chat while we're doing this towards the end. So let me get through my spiel, and then I'll answer your questions. So as you think of them, type them in the chat and I'll get to them. And then I have some of the stuff that I bought, so we'll do like a mini live haul video. You guys can ask me questions about that too. I can stay on for about another hour, so you have my full divided attention, live and in person. And cheers. Let's get started. Okay, so I started out reselling as a hobby. And to me, a hobby is something that you do that you enjoy doing on your own time for free. So a hobby to me is something that you love, you've always done, you would do it whether someone paid you or did not pay you. So for me, thrifting and reselling and finding good deals has always been something that I've really enjoyed to do. Really, ever since I started working at TJ Maxx when I was, 16 years old. That was one of my first jobs at TJ Maxx. And I can remember being in the fitting room, like as people return stuff, and just seeing, the original price on them and the sale price and the tags on these things, and thinking, oh my God, this stuff is so much better priced, right? And so then I'm like, I was so upset because at that time, that's when Abercrombie and Fitch was like super expensive. I mean, I can remember begging my mom to buy me like $100 jeans in like the late 90s from Abercrombie, and you couldn't get them at a discount store. They were hardly on sale. And so I just remember slowly trying to figure out, okay, well, if I can't get Abercrombie cheap, what are these other brands that are similar, or they have the same quality, similar styles that I can get for a lower price that I'm not paying, out the wazoo for at Abercrombie? So that's kind of how I fell in love with thrifting and sourcing. So for me, the hobby was always kind of finding deals and bargains for myself, right? So then I turned it into selling on eBay. And funny, I started selling on eBay because my dog, who is right here, my chocolate lab, you can see the top of his head right here, needed one of the like dog ACL surgeries, and it was going to be $1,500, and I had no money. So I basically took Coach purses that I didn't use anymore and sold them on eBay. And that is how I paid for my dog's medical bills. So basically, full circle here, 11 years ago, I was selling my stuff for my dog's surgery, and now I'm selling it for my own surgery. So that's, I don't know, that's kind of funny. But even back in the 2000s, Aaron, my husband, the data guru, I was always looking for a side hustle, right? So what could I do to do as a side hustle that I could eventually turn into a business, and I could leave my job as a social worker supervisor at Children's Services? I could finally, you know, be free of that and run my own business. I had always wanted to run my own business, and I was always looking for something. And he bought me this book. I wish I still had it, because it was like from, you know, 2007, talking about how to sell on eBay full time. And I think I have like the newer version of that book somewhere in here or in our main room. So again, full circle. It's just funny how life works, and these things pop up, you know, when you need them or you don't need them. But it just goes to show, for me, it's always been a hobby and in my life. And so for me, I would thrift for free, or I would thrift if someone were paying me to thrift, or if I were doing that to make money. Another thing that so think about things that you know, like to do that you could get paid for, but you choose not to. So another thing for me was cake decorating. I got into cake decorating because the Data Guru watched football all day on Sundays when we first got married. I mean, he still does now. But at that point, you know, I'm like, well, I need a hobby. I need something to do. And I remember going to Joann Fabrics. They have those classes there. And I took a cake decorating class, and it turns out I was pretty darn good at it. So I started doing it for family events and family functions. And then some people at work were like, well, can I pay you to make a cake? I'm like, sure. So another example of something that I enjoyed doing for myself and for my family and friends for free, but that I ended up making a little bit of money on. I mean, not really a lot, but making a little bit of money on by doing, you know, kids' birthday cakes at work and first communion cakes and things like that. So if you're thinking about, okay, how can I, you know, whatever your circumstances is, if you're sick or you're a stay-at-home mom, or you're trying to care for your parents or your children, or, you know, you got laid off, whatever the case may be, think about some things that you do now as a hobby that either you think someone would pay you to do, right? So there's things that you really enjoy doing that are like, oh, well, maybe I could get paid to do this. Like maybe you like to tinker with not toys, but, you know, like bikes and lawnmowers and things like that, and you could do some kind of a hobby on TaskRabbit or one of these new sites that comes up once in a while to make some extra cash. So to me, a hobby is just some extra cash. It really shouldn't put you on the radar for paying taxes on that money, because, you know, there's a threshold. And I mean, at that point, if you start making more money than like a couple $100s a year, or even like $100 a month or something like that, you know, at that point, then it turns into a side hustle. So then at that point, when you start making more money, that goes from a hobby to an actual side hustle, right? So you're taking that money that you're making there, and then you're going to grow it into a side hustle. And the side hustle is something that you wouldn't necessarily do for free if you didn't get paid for it, but it's extra money to help you supplement your income, pay off debt, pay off medical bills, put your kids through college, you know, put anything that you need extra money, buy a house, buy a car, pay off your car. There are all sorts of reasons that people do side hustles. And for me, like I said in the beginning, it's because I struggle with my health and I have a hard time working for, you know, someone a full-time 9-to-5 typical job. You know, there are some times where I've been having horrible insomnia lately. And so what employer is going to be like, yeah, come on in at 3 in the morning and work? Well, I can come in my office here at 3 in the morning and ship packages. I can list on eBay. I can do research. You know, there's all sorts of things I can do for my side hustle and my business on my own terms and my own schedule. So for those 3 days a month where I'm totally incapacitated with a migraine in bed in the dark or at urgent care, my husband can help with shipping, or I could put my store on vacation, whatever, however you want to handle it. I can be flexible and manage my side hustle the way that I want to. So You know, you can do consulting, you can bill by the hour, you can take on some clients doing, you know, you want to do, if you're a lawyer, you could do legal work. If you're a PR professional, you could do part-time consulting for that. If you write good words, you could write for anywhere, and you can write at midnight or 2 in the morning or 5 in the afternoon, whenever you want to write. You can get paid to write. So those are the things where you need to sit down and take, you know, get a notebook, get a notebook that is just for you for this, and write down. If you are reselling, that's fine. But if you're not reselling and you're just trying to figure out, like, what is a side hustle that I can make money on, start thinking about the things that you're really good at. So make a list of all the things you're really good at. And once you get that list going, you can then okay, now then, what would people pay me for? You know, what could I charge for that? Or how could I charge for that? And who would pay me for that? So there's a process to this that you need to go through to say, okay, here are the ways that I can make money. Because I could go out and totally go out and get a part-time job working at Nordstrom or, you know, the mall or, you know, wherever these places are. But I'm going to run into the exact same thing where I never know how I'm going to feel from day to day. And I don't want to be the person that lets everybody down. And I mean, I've been in the fitness industry for a very long time. I've always been hesitant about teaching at a big box gym. Last fall, I had left my job as the general sales manager at a car dealership. And I just needed to get out of the house. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do my fitness stuff. I'm going to apply for this job at this big box gym. And they hired me. So it was just not the worst experience I've ever had, but it definitely was the first job I've ever been fired from. Ever in my 35 years of existence, I've never been fired from a job except this 2 class a week job at a big box gym. And she basically told me it wasn't going to work anymore when I called her to tell her that this is right after I had a surgery because I almost lost my kidney. And we were leaving to go out of the country, and I had to go get like a renal type scan before we left. So it was a last minute procedure. I had been having pain. Obviously, I don't want to travel to London with my kidney failing or backed up or hydronephrosis again. That's like the last thing I want to do. And I called her in the morning and I said, hey, here's what's happening. I have this, you know my situation. You already know this is happening. We're leaving next week. I've been having these pains. The doctor's like, you need to go get this done. And she basically chewed me out and said, this just isn't going to work and this is too last minute. And at that moment, first of all, at that moment, I was mortified. I had never been fired from a job ever. Okay, so that was the first thing. The second thing, when I hung up the phone, I was like, what a stupid, mean person. Like, how are you going to tell me this whole time that I'm part of your gym family and gym culture, and then you are like, bye, as soon as you need to help, as soon as I need help, you're like, bye, right? And so then I realized that it was a blessing in disguise. I realized that this is the moment I needed to make something else work for me that was on my own terms. And that is the point when I got back, when we were in London, that is when I realized, okay, I need to make this work. And that's when I realized I loved reselling. It was something I was passionate about. I really enjoyed doing it. I was already making a little bit of money on it at this point. I had been selling on Poshmark for about a little over a year at that point. And I just jumped into it. I jumped into it and I said, okay, I have to find something that I can do on my own. So I took this side hustle, and I just made a little note here of all the side hustles I've had over the years. I've had side hustles since before side hustles was a phrase that anyone used. You know, I taught group fitness, I did personal training, I taught boot camps in the park, I taught swim lessons, I did coaching for swim teams, I waited tables. I don't even know what that is. I don't know. So I did all of these things while I was still working full-time. And I think that side hustling is such a great way to make money when you're in this transition phase, or like I said, you have these things going on. Now, and that's fine and dandy. What I'm noticing and what I'm finding through the kind of social media world, right? I've involved in these groups and have met so many of you virtually and even at Poshmark. And I get messages all the time, or I see comments from people that are telling me they quit their full-time job to sell full-time, and, you know, they jumped right into it. Or I'm seeing posts about people who are talking about they have to go back to work. They have to go back to a 9-to-5 because they are not making the consistent income they thought they were making while they were being a reseller. So when you're transitioning, it seems like a great idea when you have a full-time job or even consistent part-time job to take your side hustle, such as reselling, and turn it into a full-time gig, right? It's a natural progression. And I did it with personal training. So that is something that I did on the side, personal training and group fitness, when I worked for Children's Services. And I got to a point where I was paying rent to people and I was paying all this money to other people. And I just thought, you know, I need to open my own gym. I wasn't believing the things that I was hearing while I was at these other facilities, or what people were teaching. I couldn't believe my ears, really, or my eyes, that people were eating donuts at the front desk at a gym. That still blows my mind. Like, that just blows my mind. So I thought, you know what? I can do this better. I can do it different. I can do it better, and I can help more people. Well, boy, did I not know what the hell I was getting myself into. Oh my God. Going from a side hustle and having consistent money to jumping into it being your full-time gig is the scariest thing I've ever done in my entire life. I mean, it is so terrifying, and it's rewarding and it's fun and it's awesome, but you have to be willing to make some serious sacrifices when you're doing something like that, especially if you are the person who is responsible for your bills, or you're a solo person responsible for yourself, and you really, really, really have to be able to take all of this into consideration. So, you need to now think about your inventory, your profit costs, how much money you're making, how much money you have in the bank, how much money do you need, how much money are you going to have to pay in taxes, how much money are you going to pay in self-employment taxes? Are you actually going to make a profit? Are you making a profit now? So there are so many more things to think about when you're jumping into this full-time reselling or full-time side hustle sector, right? You really need to consult an attorney. You need to consult an accountant. I'm going to tell you right now that a bookkeeper, an accountant, and an attorney are the three things that you need to spend money on up front. That I would, before I left any job, going forward, knowing what I know now and knowing how much I screwed up stuff in the past. A bookkeeper, an accountant, and a lawyer are the three things that I would consult before I stepped a foot into anybody's office saying I quit and leaving a regular steady job. Because those three things, having them set up from the get-go, I would say that having them set up and being educated on them from the beginning would have been a really smart thing to do on my part. But I didn't do that. I didn't listen to anyone's advice. And if I were watching this video, I would have been like, that girl doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. I'm smarter than her and I'm better. And I definitely will be fine. Okay? So I quit my job. I have hardly any money. No bank will give me a loan. Another reason to consult with people. Because I quit my job before I applied for a loan. So I had no proof of income for the loan for my business. So I couldn't get a loan from anyone, anywhere, 8 banks, not even with co-signers. I had 3 banks tell me they owned too many treadmills already. I took out this ridiculous, stupid, high-interest loan to get equipment that just still makes me sick when I think about how much money I paid back from this equipment. And I opened my gym with my itty-bitty 401k that I had to cash out and pay a penalty on from my social work job, and a Nordstrom Visa card that had a $10,000 limit. I'm dead serious. That's how I opened my gym. I opened a gym with a credit card and like a $15,000 401k that ended up being like $8,000 because of all the fees and the taxes and everything and the penalty. So don't be like me. And if you're thinking about moving forward and going this step, you know, you need to sit down with someone to look at, A, what business do you need to set up? So you need to find an attorney to figure out, you know, can you just be a sole proprietor for a while? Should you start a limited liability corporation? You know, do you need an S Corp, a C Corp? What are your other financial obligations? What are your other financial situations? Does your business, does your partner or spouse have a business too that you need to take into consideration? Okay, so an attorney, an accountant. Again, what can you write off? What can you count as a home deduction? How much money do you need to survive is really what it comes down to. Because you need to know what you're going to be responsible for taxes, what your rent is, you know, are you going to have to rent a space? Any of this stuff is so important to know up front before you walk into your boss's office and are like, see you later, alligator, I quit this joint, I'm out of here. Because not only will you feel so much better if you're set up, but you will also be much more successful down the road if you take the time now to do the things and spend the money on the steps necessary to grow your business while you're working this other job. I know I'm just being very strongly worded about this, and I cannot emphasize this enough for you to learn from my mistakes. The other thing, and I'm going to tell you right now why this is such a sensitive topic, and I hardly ever talk about this. I'm not wearing it now because I was cleaning some stuff earlier, but the ring that you guys see me wearing is not my original wedding ring. There was a moment when I had my gym that I didn't listen to the advice of other people. I didn't save any money. I didn't have any money in the bank, and I needed to pay my people working for me. And I didn't have enough money. So I sat in a parking lot of a bank crying, calling my mother. And she said, what are you going to do? And I remember my hands were on the steering wheel. They were on the steering wheel of the car. And and my ring kind of flickered. And I thought, I'm going to have to sell my wedding ring. This thing I cherished from my husband, I chose, I didn't have to, but I chose to sacrifice my ring for my business. And thankfully, my husband is the most amazing person you would ever meet in your entire life. But we found a jewelry store, and the guy was amazing. The jeweler, he gave us a little, he knew my situation. He was a small business owner himself. He ended up giving me a little bit more. And I stood in that jewelry store with my ring. And when I handed it over to him, I felt like my heart break into pieces. And those are the kind of sacrifices that you make when you're so passionate about something and you want it to work. And I tell you this story not for you to be like, oh, you're so stupid. Why didn't you just, do this, that, or the other? Or, were you more prepared? You guys, I didn't know. I had no idea what I was doing. I was like in my late 20s opening a fitness studio with no loans, no guidance, no one helping me, no mentor, nothing, watching videos, trying to, you know, work endlessly, tirelessly for 12, 14 hours a day, and I wanted to make it work. And so I just want you to know that there are so many other things that go into things like this, that go into growing from a side hustle to a business to consider before you make that leap. And that's why I share things like this with you, and I share this story. And you know, that ring that you see me wearing, I busted my ass off as a consultant a few years ago to be able to get another ring for you know, to replace it. It never will replace it. It will never be the same as that original ring. It will never be the ring that the data guru put on my finger that day we got married. But it was a sacrifice that I made. And you need to think about, what are the sacrifices you are willing to make for this? One of the things that he and I had talked about, obviously you need to have your partner involved in any kind of big decision like jumping into owning a business. But we had made parameters to say, at what point will you say, at what point will you say that this isn't working and you need to close your business? At what point do you need to go back to your 9-to-5? This needs to be black and white. Like, if I hit below this number, I will get a job. I will not take out a second mortgage. You know, I'm not taking out a second mortgage on my house. I had already maxed out our credit cards. I had already sold my ring. And that was it. Like, that was the last. And at that point, I got a consultant to help me. I started changing my revenue sources. I added recurring billing, which then I knew how much money was coming in. I had no idea that there was that the impact and the magnitude of like a summer slump in the fitness business. I had no idea that I would lose so much money in the summer. I just didn't know that. And so for me then, I had a consultant helping me. I had my accountant helping me. You know, I cut back on classes. I took on different things. And that is how I ended up growing my business. And then, you know, I'm really kind of bummed about it because Aaron got this amazing job here in Virginia and we left. And that's a whole nother story that I'll talk to you about a different day. But, you know, that the third year my business would have been profitable. So the third year Bexa Body Fitness would have been profitable. It would have all been worth it. You know, I hustled into speaking engagements. I worked with the Chamber of Commerce. I met every athletic director. I became the strength and conditioning coach for the girls' basketball, softball, soccer teams in our town. And I worked my ass off to rebound from that. So I took that super shitty situation and decision and sacrifice that I made for my business, and I turned it into something powerful, something meaningful, something to drive me to do better and do different and relentlessly, endlessly find a solution to work. And it did. It lit this fire under me that I knew was there, but it had to work. So before you make this jump, make this leap into full-time entrepreneurship, which I totally believe is possible. I think that I love it. I survive off of it. I'm not completely risk adverse. You know, I enjoy taking risks once in a while. I don't mind. My husband doesn't, but I don't mind doing it. But I'm also in a situation where I'm able to do that. So anyway, I'm rambling on about all of this as a very strongly worded cautionary tale that if you want to do it and be successful, you need to set up parameters before you make the jump. So you need to make sure, you need to know exactly how much money you need to survive, how much money your business needs to take, how many sales you're going to have, how much money you need to take, how many bills you need to pay, what are your taxes, what do you need to make, All of that stuff needs to be set up front. You need to have a few months worth of money in the bank. I can't emphasize that enough. There needs to be a buffer in the bank for you when you move and transition into this, which is another huge mistake I didn't make. And I'll tell you another fun story, and then I'll start answering your questions. But so you always read these stories about businesses doing things. You will learn as you watch my videos and I tell you stories like this, how very creative I get to find solutions to my problems. And like I've said, I'm very relentless when it comes to pursuing things that I want. So like I said a few minutes ago, I opened my business with a Nordstrom Visa that had a $10,000 limit. So my thought was, I am going to write handwritten letters to all of the Nordstrom family members about how their credit card allowed me to succeed as a small business owner in America, the American dream, and maybe they won't make me pay my credit card bill. Maybe Nordstrom will say, this was amazing. We are going to help this young woman who pursued her dream of opening a business with our Visa. Yeah, that didn't work. I did get a letter back from them saying congratulations on you on opening your gym and your success, but it did not come with a check or a waiver for my bill owed. I got pretty creative there at that moment in time. I thought, oh, it'll be on like CNN and we'll get the news here. It'll be great. Nordstrom pays off small business owner's credit card she used to stupidly open a gym. But alas, that did not work. But I was willing to try anything after the ring thing, the great ring incident. And so all of this is really to show you that preparation will bring you peace of mind and a lot more success than if you are frantically worrying about how you're going to pay your bills, that your sales are really low, that your client just fired you for not getting their website done on time, whatever your side hustle is, right? So, I need a drink after that. I just need a drink. All right, if you have questions about this, post them in the chat. I'm going to go through, I'm going to go back and read them, and then we'll do a mini haul video. All right, so I have this stuff here that I got, do a mini haul video, and then don't forget, there's like 2 people that always thumbs down my videos, so I just want to give you a great shout out and thank you, because it kind of like knocks me down a notch. Like, all right, good. I'm really getting up there when people start not liking my videos. But if you do like my video, make sure you like it. And I think that there's a very important message in this video that if it needs to be shared with someone, if you know someone who is willing to make this jump, you need to say to them, hey, you need to go watch this video by the Bexa Boss Lady, because she really breaks down, you know, the things that you need to think about and be prepared for as you're moving into this new world. All right, here we go. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Is it okay to share a lot? Oh, can you see that? My eyes like twitching. Is it okay to share like 50 items of a person's closet? Sure, you can share 1 million of them. I think that if you share a lot of people's stuff, that they're more likely then to share your stuff. But I wouldn't share 50 of everyone's stuff. So if you are in a closet and you really like it and you love their stuff, or you know them and you're like, oh, I'm going to share all our stuff, and you have a mouse, go for it. Do it. But I don't think that it's necessary to do that all the time. Next question. What I find hard is managing money I make on Poshmark. How can I divide saving and spending? So what I kind of have this 30-30-30 or 33-33-33 33, 33, 33, where I am saving 33, I'm spending 33, and then I'm reinvesting 33, or I'm paying myself 33. So you can take that where you are, you know, you're going to owe somewhere, depending on your tax situation, 30 to 40%. That's just 40 is probably a more likely estimate. So you need to be saving that for your quarterly taxes, or, you know, however you and your accountants end up setting that up. Then 33% of it you can use to buy things like inventory for your business, right? And then the third 33% you can use towards things that I have, like in my reseller toolkit. If you need supplies, if you want to upgrade your printer, if you want to, you know, like I'm doing my little barcoding system now, whatever it is, you use that to kind of grow and add on to the things, the tools that you're using for your business. Some people have it set up differently, but I find that that method works for me. So I have a business, I have my PayPal account, I have a business checking account, and I have a business savings account. So you can divide those up. If you are only selling on Poshmark, you can just set up a typical checking account for a business, and you could, you know, you guys really should get an accountant. But you know, if you're doing a sole proprietor, I believe you set it up just under your social, or if you end up, you know, getting an LLC and doing that, you can do it through your business. So you'll get a EIN number through the federal government, and that is the number you will use to pay and submit your taxes. Do you think that the more you list, the better your sales are? Well, I used to think that until this past week. I listed 200 things, and I've had the worst sales week I've had all year. So yes, I still believe that. I'm not sure what happened this week for my sales. I know a lot of people were saying that their sales were down. So, but I believe that listing consistently every day is a little bit better than listing like 200 things at once. So if you wanted to list 10 things a day or 15 things a day, that's fine. I think that as long as your store is consistent, right, and you are constantly adding to it, it kind of fuels the algorithms and it feeds it, and then you feed the beast, as they say. More people see it and more people buy it. On Poshmark, I truly believe the more you share your stuff, the more sales you make. I don't know if necessarily it's how many items you're adding, but obviously if you have more stuff in your closet to buy, especially if they're similar sizes, then you have more opportunities for bundles and those kind of things. Well, welcome. I'm glad this is your first time. Welcome to the live video. How many times in a month do you visit the thrift store, Goodwill, or bins? I do not go to the bins. They're like over an hour from me. I've heard the Baltimore bins are pretty terrifying. I'm not really interested in fighting with people or getting in fights. Seriously, I'm not interested in going and like I can barely handle the 50% off sales at the thrift stores, let alone reaching in and digging for stuff with other people. But I typically go, I probably source 3 to 4 times a month. And I usually go when I have a coupon, or if you follow the thrift stores like social media pages or sign up for their email lists, you'll get notifications and such, like when they're having sales days. And typically they're around holidays. So the next upcoming holiday, some of them might have a Halloween sale, but Veterans Day is going to be the next one coming up in November. And then obviously we're going to be going into the holidays, so people will be having holiday sales. Casa Chic, I'm so glad you joined us too. I'm so glad I caught you in my little chat here, and thanks for answering people's questions. Taxes. Okay, at what point do you consider this a business where you suggest going to help in this area? I would say if you make more than $1,000, or I think it's $600, but if you make more than $500 or $1,000, that's getting reported to the IRS through like a I'm blanking on the form, but there's a form that they send and that says this person made this much money selling stuff, or, you know, made income. If if you're hitting that threshold, you were going to need to do that. Because there are things that you can do to offset those sales. So, you know, if you have an LLC, you can have home office deductions, and you can write off your expenses and your mileage, and like there's all of these things involved in it. I personally don't feel comfortable talking about it because I'm not an accountant, and I just know, you know, some of those things to look for my business and our tax bracket and how I have my business set up. So it's kind of key for you to get it set up so it's individualized for you, because the last thing you want to do is set up your stuff. You don't want to set it up where it's along with someone else's business, because my business is very different from your business, is very different from her business. You guys, no one knows how much income I'm making otherwise, or my spouse is making. You know, Sally could have a trust fund. All of these things set up your tax bracket differently, and that's why it's so crucial to find someone to help you out. I did have a phone call with Mark, Not Your Dad CPA, on Instagram, and he's awesome. I cannot recommend him. He helps some of the big resellers who are doing 6 figures a year. He knows the reselling business, and so if you reach out to him, tell him I sent you. Say, hey, I saw you on Boss Lady Resale's video about side hustles and business. You know, can you help me? And I'm sure, I know he's working on like a package for people so that you can get advice and help for that kind of stuff. Let's see. So yeah, so when you are sick, when you have a chronic illness or an invisible illness, it's so hard. It's so hard to make money, and then it's so hard because you know, there are days where I feel amazing and I'm like, I'm not sick. And then there are days that just totally take me out of commission. And that's something that I've just learned over the years, that I kind of have to roll with the punches, I guess, when it comes to that. But I mean, if reselling doesn't work, there are lots of other side hustles that, you know, maybe I can talk about in another video for people who are living with, you know, like a chronic invisible illness. Okay, do you have to pay taxes on thrift selling on eBay and Poshmark? Okay, yes. The smart answer, the right answer is yes. The complicated answer is maybe. Like I said, it all depends on your business structure, your sales, your own personal taxes, all of that. And you need to consult. Do not rely on Instagram as a method to do your taxes, because the IRS is going to be like, hello, and you're going to say, but I saw Susie Q resells on Instagram, and she said I could write off all of this. And they're going to be like, yeah, you owe us $10,000, and you're going to need to pay that, like, right now. And you're going to shit your pants. Right? Because I would. If the IRS sends me letters, which they have in the past about my gym, it freaks me out. I don't know if you've ever had a letter from them. It is terrifying, and I'm hoping to avoid that for the rest of my life. So the goal is to not do that, or if they are sending me a letter, I know exactly why. Let's see. So yep. So being able to like take care of your expenses, reselling is a great way to do it. So like side hustling, all of that stuff. Let's see. So if you have to pay taxes on thrift sales, do you also write off expenses? So I have mine set up as an LLC. There are things you can write off. There are things you can't write off. But basically you need to have, you know, you need to have that set up as your business. I can't emphasize talking to an accountant as much as you can. Okay, do you ever buy non-brand popular items that are cute? Yes, for Poshmark only. How do you get more exposure when it's non-branded in searches? Okay, if you have a really cute workout top, like this is, you can't really see the back of it, but it's really cute. It's a workout top. I don't even know what the brand is. It might be Old Navy. But you need to just use like really good keywords. What are people looking for? They're looking for activewear. They're looking for bra tops, tank tops, workout tops, yoga tops. You just need to use really great keywords. Any kind of feature that the item has, the print, the fabric, any of that kind of stuff. And then I tend to mix those in my closet along with some of the popular stuff. And keep your popular and your cute stuff at the top of your closet when you're sharing it, because most people don't scroll. If you have 300 things for sale, people aren't scrolling through all 300 of them when they come to your Poshmark closet. Now, eBay is a little bit more challenging, and I do not sell. I have a couple things that were non-branded, and they all sold on Poshmark. So, let's see. All right, so yeah, okay. So there is a little bit of a hump. If you have a ton of stuff to sell, there have been times where, if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen it. I get super stressed out when I have piles of stuff in here, and it makes it very difficult for me to do any amount of work. And what I have found is I end up breaking it down into, I chunk it. So that's my new thing, is chunking. I take all of the pants and I do the pants at one time, and then I stop. And then I do tops at one time, and then I stop, or blazers or jackets, whatever. And that has allowed me to then, you know, be able to keep moving. So even if you have to do 5 things a day, you know, 5 things a day adding up for a month is 150 things for sale. So just take it in bites and pieces and do what you can, and you have to practice instant forgiveness. So I have found that there are times where I'm like, you know what, I physically can't do this, and I am sorry, body, I'm sorry, business, but my body is winning today, and that's just how it has to be. Let's see. Yeah, so Poshmark has changed their algorithms for this new Posh Ambassador program, and they have said that it is going to help with sales and get your stuff in front of more people. I have found that it's in front of more people. I have found that I have a lot of shares and likes and followers, but my sales have not increased. So for the past week, I've been waking up every morning with 500 or so notifications, and it's like 2 sales. So I'm really hoping that this is just the, you know, big change going, and that they are going to start picking up seriously, because I need my sales to pick up over Christmas. This is crazy. No, don't buffer. Ugh. If you can still see me, I have no idea why this is buffering again. I have the fastest internet that you can buy from Verizon. We pay a ton of money a month. So I just don't know why this is not working. I'm so frustrated. Ugh. I don't know. Okay, I'm back. It's still buffering on my end, but you guys can see me now. As long as you can see me, that's all I care about. All right. Can you see me again? We're good now? All right. Okay. All right. Good. Woo! All right. Let's finish this up. Thanks for staying. I'm glad everyone stayed. I don't know. I just had to refresh it. I got to figure out with YouTube what's happening. Because it keeps saying that my stream health is live. Like it's green and it's saying it's fine. So anyway, it's back. We're back. All right. So what other questions? Can your Poshmark closet go on sale on its own? No. You have to put it manually on sale and you have to manually do every item. It's really annoying, especially for those of us with hundreds of items. There is no software right now for selling on multiple sites. I manually select which sites I am going to list them on. I have a video about why I stopped selling on Tradesy. And so I stopped that. I've been kind of picking up Mercari now. And so that is Mercari. I've been using that because they only have a 10% fee. I don't definitely have not as much sales as I don't know. It's okay. I just think that I'm just going to stick with Poshmark and Instagram for right now. And then I'm just going to leave it like that. So, all right. It's been an hour. You guys want to do a little haul video? Should I show you what I picked up this week? All right, I'll answer one more question, then we'll do a haul video. I did start a men's closet called Boss Man Resale. I know that's really original, real creative, and I have the men's stuff in there. I think that I have sold $1,000 on the men's side. Some of the cuter stuff that I want more action on, I have still put it in my closet. So that is, I think if you only have a few men's things, I would not start a new closet. I have like 100 things and I cleaned out my actual husband's closet. So we have a lot more stuff in there. And I've been buying more like some men's stuff lately. But all right. So this is a haul from two little shopping trips. Both of these, all of this combined, I have spent less than $100 on. So we're just going to go right into it. The first thing that we should talk about is that it's winter and people go skiing, right? So let me see if I can, let me back up here. All right, so make sure you are looking out for ski stuff, right? And if you can get ski pants for like super cheap, get them. Ski pants, snowboarding pants are keywords to use. All of these like winter pants. So these are Obermeyer blue pants, snow pants. And they've got the zipper down the side, which is very convenient when you are skiing. You can kind of take them off when you go in for your hot cocoa after you ski. And then, well, I'm just going to pull things out of the bag. So this is a Victoria's Secret sport tank top, sports bra. Extra small, definitely not my size, but these are really cute. And they sell pretty quickly because they have really nice sports bras. If you're looking for a sports bra, I really, really recommend the Victoria's Secret ones. This is Prana is an amazing brand. It sells very quickly. This is just a Prana tank top and nothing fancy, but it's a brand that sells consistently for me. All right, another pair of snow pants. These are Black Bear extra large, just black ski pants, snow pants, snowboarding pants. These, another pair. So I got a couple pairs of these. These are LL Bean. These are men's tall LL Bean, the thermal insulated ones. So, you know, a lot of these people are just cleaning out their stuff and they'll have them in like the cheaper part of the store, and some of these can sell for like $40, $50, $60. I think I found a pair of the North Face ones. I paid $4 or $5 for them. I sold them for $65. So they're definitely a good flip. These are overall ones. And I don't know what happened to the tag, but they're ladies' overalls. Okay, so I got that. And then I just picked up a pair of, these are men's J. Crew jeans, and I was thinking these might fit the Data Guru, so that's actually why I picked these up. But they're men's button fly, because I know if they don't fit him, I can sell them. So, you gotta wash those up. Oh yeah, I put every size and every measurement I can think of in my listings. It prevents returns, and then people actually know what they're getting. These are super cute Dolce Vita boots, gray. I think I actually have these that I bought on Poshmark last year. They're a size, I don't know. I gotta dig around and figure out what size they are. But they've like barely been worn. So those are good. These are Steve Madden, I think. These suede booties. Steve Madden booties. Yeah, Steve Madden. Red suede booties. Right? Really cute. Size 8.5. And these are IRO, made in Italy, leather, like ankle boots with buckles. So IRO is a good brand. If you don't know kind of these newer brands, it's worth like looking up some of these. Like if you see the, like made in Italy or made in Spain or made in France or England, like those are brands that you want to look up. These are really, really cute. They're a 37, which is my size. I don't know. You guys, I don't need all these boots. I'd rather have money than keep all these. So that's that. And let's see. Get my scissors out. Yes, I don't know if I already answered this, but I do put measurements in my listings. Okay, I got myself a little Gap top. I love these things because they're just super. This was 30% off of $3.49. So this actually goes in my needs to wash pile. And this is also, I bought this for myself, this Athleta gray shirt. Just like a knit shirt to wear. Let me see if I need to get some better lighting in here because it's starting to get dark. Alright, and this is a St. John Sport. So St. John collection, St. John Sport, and it's like a wool kind of jacket, purple. It's a size petite small, but these, and if you don't know this, you should look up the labels. So if you don't know the different like brands of things like St. John, Armani, you should look these up, right? It's better to look them up. This adorable J. Crew Ruffle jacket. It's so cute. Let me see if I can get some better lighting in here. So a gray little jacket. I think I have like a pink red one in my store right now. I didn't find any Dojos, but when you can get these pretty cheap, the 7 for All Mankind. I do buy these pretty, if I can get them for an inexpensive price. These are Miss Me's with the angel wings on the back. The problem with these is that they've been hemmed to a pretty short length, but I have found that even the hemmed ones sell. So, especially when they are really embellished like that. I'm not sure what the cheap Saint. I don't think there's a cheap St. John. I think there's a less expensive St. John brand. Another pair of A pockets, but you know I paid $2 and some cents for these, so they won't sell as much as the Dodo. Oh, so this is an example of a skirt that I bought that I don't know this brand. It's a UK brand called Vita, but I just loved this plaid. And I could wear this with my shirt, right? So this is a skirt I will put, well, I gotta look up the brand on Poshmark, but that is that. This is a Zara woman jacket with brand new with tags. It's really cute, white. It's a size large. I love when it has new with tags. It's my favorite. So I don't have that much stuff because I've really been trying to not buy a ton until my sales pick up a little bit. But these are Theory seersucker pants. And they're a good size. They're like a size 12. Theory are really great dress pants. Most people who work in an office and they have to wear like suits and things, Theory is a brand that I used to pick up all the time when I worked in an office. And I really, really like their stuff. All right, let's go through this bag here. Oh, I got these. These are like vintage suede skirts from the Limited. They're so old. The tag is so old. But this one is brown, like a gold brown color. And the label is so old on these. And then a black one. So same thing, black. This one is more of a high waist black. But black suede skirt. Another, plaid is really in right now. So if you look at the style magazines for the fall, plaid is in. So this Jones New York skirt I picked up because it's a really pretty color. Kind of, I hope you can see that, but pick that up. It's got some pleating on it, like a tartan, purple tartan. This is a J. Crew like skirt. I love picking up J. Crew skirts. Oh, this is J. Crew collection, so that's even better. But so if you, I buy white stuff all the time because I store my items in a Ziploc bag. So after I take pictures of it, it gets stored, and that way I know it's protected from anything happening to it. Another J. Crew number 2 pencil skirt. These sell really well on Poshmark, and especially if you can get them for a really great low price. These are, I only bought these because they were really heavily discounted, but this is a Puma girls like bra top. I typically don't buy kids stuff unless it's really cute. This is a Gsella Tank size medium. I love Gsella. It's one of my favorite workout brands. Gsella is actually a Nordstrom brand. It doesn't exist outside of Nordstrom. These are also St. John pants, like high waist mom pants. They're St. John, the big St. John on the butt. I got these. So mind you, all of this stuff I paid less than $100 for. So don't forget that. If you find, I know this seems gross, but a lot of people buy practice swimsuits, lap swimming suits on eBay. So like any of these like Nike, Speedo, these bathing suits, even if they're used, people will buy these because these are like $100 if you buy a new one. And so I do wash the swimwear before, unless it's new with tags, I wash the swimwear if it's been used. J. Crew, so the J. Crew Super 120s is like their really high quality wool. So the Super 120 skirts, those sell for like $40 or $50 on eBay if it's in good condition. These are the Super 120 dress pants. Again, I didn't get the name Boss Lady because of being a hobo, right? So I really like selling suits and blazers and those kind of things. Another pair, these are actually Ann Taylor really thick linen dress pants. size 12. They're in really great shape, and they're a great blue color. The lighting on my camera doesn't really do this justice, but they're pretty. And then one more J. Crew skirt. This is another number 2 pencil suit. The only thing you have to watch with these, now the place, I don't like sharing my sources when I get some of this stuff, but the only thing you have to watch with these wool skirts and dress pants and all of these things are there are oftentimes little small like moth bites in them, like little holes in the skirts. So I really try to do a thorough check of them. But you know, a lot of the times, like when I go to some of these places that have the fill a bag sale or that, I can get these for less than $1. And if I get them less from $1, and you can sell them with holes in it, and people will get them repaired, and they will still buy them if they're really good quality. The other thing, which Casa Chic actually told me, or someone told me, I thought it was her, but that St. John will repair like the Santana knit. They will repair it for like a charge. So people buy it even with holes in it because they can get it repaired. So I guess you could get it fixed too, depending on the cost of it. But these are actually, last two things, these are naturalizers. Naturalizers, soft, Clarks sell for me. I don't know why, they sell really well. And these are actually a cute, they might not sell until the spring, but I'll just keep them in storage. They're really cute. And they're so comfortable that, you know, that's why they're really popular. And then these J. Crew flats that I got, from Savers. They're really cute, and they're a size 9. So that's my mini haul. I hope I answered your questions. Let's see what else. Don't forget to like this video. I know it's kind of a two-parter since I got stuck in the middle, but you know, I really appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to like my video. And I have that reseller toolkit page that you can bookmark. And like I said, it's a live living document that I'm going to keep updating as I go along. So as I try new things, or, you know, I decide I don't use that anymore, I'll just make sure I keep updating it. So my dog is about to start telling me that it's dinner time. So let's, I think what I might do is Tuesday nights are the nights that the Data Guru tutors, and this is, I don't have to worry about like him coming home and interrupting the video and all that stuff. So I'm definitely going to try to make this once a week and see if I can do it at a regular time. The only issue is we are going to be, we're selling a house in a different state. We're moving to a new condo here. We're traveling. The holidays are coming up. So make sure you follow me on Instagram at Boss Lady Resale. I will post when I do live videos. And I know you guys want, I like doing them on here because they save and people can go back and watch them. You know, when you do them on Instagram, you can only watch them at one time, and anyway, I like doing live videos on here. I can chat with you better on here and answer your questions. So, how do I get my lipstick to stay on so long? Because I use really good lipstick, and it's not, and I use quality lipstick. So, this is Red Apple lipstick. The link is in my bio, but this is Bella Rina. Bella Rina, and it's a really, really pretty color. Super pretty. The other thing is when you put on your lipstick, I clean my lips, like I scrub my lips, and then if you put a little bit of concealer on your lips, it will help, or primer, something like that, it will help them stay on. And obviously I talk a lot. I've been talking for, what, an hour and a half, and my lips are still really good. Now, how you get rid of zits on your chin, I have no idea. My hormones are so messed up after my hysterectomy that they're driving me nuts. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.